Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about Phase 3 of SOD, what I think went wrong, and issues that I would personally change in the Season of Discovery development. I made a video a few weeks ago at the start of Phase 3, and there were some things that I really liked at the start of Phase 3 that I've kind of soured on a little bit, and I want to talk about that. Another YouTuber by the name of 720 has made a great video on this as well. I'm going to post that in my description as well. I think it's very good, and I think it's very worth watching from a person who's been playing World of Warcraft since pretty much the very start. So I thought it was very good content. But anyways, I want to get right into it. I continuously keep checking, as always, the Guild Master layer in Crusader Strike, and I continuously keep seeing people talking about how they are struggling to get their raid together. People are just quitting the game. And you could say, sure, it's a 20-man change. I don't think it's a 20-man change. I don't think it really helps, but I don't think it's a 20-man change. And this is my biggest thing. I'm going to talk about that very quickly. I do not think that the current economy of the player base of SOD can sustain 40-man raids. I don't think it's there. I don't think the people that have been sold to play SOD are there for 40-man raids. And a lot of people who are in hardcore guilds, I would consider us semi-hardcore, will say, oh, that's just a casual problem, or something like that. I don't think it is. I think for the health of the game, 20-man raids make the most sense. I think that if you just look at the downward trend of players from this last phase, the phase before, and going into this phase, I would say that if you really care about the health of the game, or you really want to see this whole thing through with your guild, that I would say 20-mans are probably the best move and best plan to keep going forward, but that's just my opinion. But so going into Phase 3, let's just put it plain and simple. There's not enough content. There's really not content at all. And this has really been masked in the past few phases. And I say that because in the past few phases, you had a raid every 3 days. And that could mean, getting world buffs every 3 days, reconsuming every 3 days, whatever it might be. Maybe an alt raid in that 3-day span. Again, could mean anything. But the 3-day event naturally means that there is more going on. You are raiding more. You're hanging out together more. Without that there, and this would be the same thing in Phase 2, and if in Phase 2 they just said, hey, we're not doing the 3-day lock-in anymore, I think this issue would have been prevalent a lot earlier. Because there was even less content to do in Phase 2. But you look at Phase 3 and it's like, what do? You do wild offering spams at the start. Cool. Okay. You've done those? You've gotten your pieces? Cool. You don't ever have to do them again. You do incursions to get some gold? Cool. And I have to ask, genuinely, are incursions really a better sustainable market for the health of the game compared to GDKPs? And I really mean that when I ask that question. I'm doing a GDKP in Era right now as you're watching. And here's my thought. The biggest issue in SOD is that the old content from the prior phases is no longer relevant. That just doesn't work in a vanilla setting. One of the best things, and I've preached about this for months, the best thing of vanilla is how everything still remains relevant. It gives you so much more content, and you're allowed to do a lot of stuff. In a era setting, especially where the game has been going on since 2019, you have the ability as a raider. It's a Saturday night, you've got some free time. Saturday night with the mayor's daughter, maybe, maybe I don't know, but you got all this time. And you're saying to yourself, I'm going to log on. I'm going to see what I'm going to do. You're not going to see anything to do inside. You're going to see incursions, wild offering, spam. I don't think the average player enjoys doing those. There's nothing really great from the rep rewards from incursions. The gold is very mediocre. And you say to yourself, okay, and then you log into Era on Whitemane, and MC GDKP, Nax GDKP, ZG GDKP, all these GDKPs, man, I gotta change that from Mac Jones. I love you, Mac Jones, but my heart still hurts looking at that. Anyways, sorry. That kind of threw me for a loop. But GDKPs give you something to do. It gives you another reason to go into old raids. It funnels you gold for consumes in these consume heavy raids, and it's fun content. You're raiding, you're playing your character more in a raid setting, bettering yourself. You are logging more. You're engaging with the community more than you would in a 4-man party, including yourself, obviously five-man party in incursions, mindlessly running in circles, picking up quest items for maximum efficiency. The GDKP issue that they solved, quote unquote, has just created more problems. And the problems it has created were tried to be solved with incursions. And I don't think that they did a good job with that. I don't think that the GDKP issue was really prevalent. I really, really don't believe that removing GDKPs has been a plus net benefit. If you really want to nitpick, you can probably just look at the logs and look that phase 1 where GDKPs were allowed is actually the most healthy version of the game. And then obviously phase 2 had a lot of issues in its own, but I really don't think taking GDKPs away has been healthy for the game. Number 2, runes are becoming too much. I think that runes were a really good idea at the start. I think it was cool. It was a fun way to chase it. As time went on, you could tell that in the past 2 phases, the method of getting runes just became more and more lazy. There were some classes that had some really cool ways to get runes. Shamans, warlocks, and I believe priests had some pretty cool runes to get. But overall, for a lot of people, getting runes was pretty boring. Go grab Hammer, Wrath the Highland. Kill Troll Hammer, rune. That was a warrior rune. That's a lot of warrior runes. It's literally just take this, kill, rune. Nice. Like, there's a lot of runes like that. And they're just, it's more or less just like, oh, I'm happy this is easy because I really don't want to do this to begin with. But I'm happy I could do this very quickly. But again, going back, solving problems to create problems. And I think that they just keep doing this. They keep kind of digging a hole they're throwing themselves in. You see them continuously make changes to PvP. They, you know what I mean, and it keeps hurting PvP. Like PvP just isn't really that great in SOD. And this has been an issue too. It actually affects Era too. The PvP change that they made with honor caps has essentially killed ranking in Era because 400k honor is way too much. Now that the server population has leveled down just a little bit, it's very alive. It's very much alive, but it's not really what it was at heyday when that change came in. And I think that was the fear the entire time, was like, yeah, Era's popping off now, but what about 6 months from now when all these people, a good chunk of these people are playing SOD, and the ranking system has now become fundamentally a lot harder and doesn't really make a lot more sense. 400k is doable by sand, but by God, that is a lot of sand, and that comes from somebody who got rank 14 sanding. I would not recommend doing 400k honor, especially on a PvP server where you're bound to get ganked here and there. I don't think so. I think that's a lot, and I know a lot of people who did rank 14 and 60 are probably going to hear that and go, 400k is a lot? I know, it's different, but back then you had BGs popping all the time, etc., etc. And you had, you know, AB, whatever it might be, Alternate Valley for a ton of honor, stuff like that. I'm getting ahead of myself. But that is really what I mean, is that they keep doing these things. They make Melee Hunter. People were not widely asking for Melee Hunter. They make Melee Hunter broken. Creates a big issue with raid balance. They buff the fuck out of Enhancement and Ellie. I don't think Enhancer Ellie ever really wanted to be that buffed, or Shaman Tank. I don't think they ever that was really asked for. Shaman Tank was kind of a niche meme in the Shaman disc where like 5 people actually played it and tried it. And other than that, it was just a meme. So they've created these specs, you know, again, like Shaman Tank and Melee Hunter and Rogue Tank, and they haven't really done anything with them, or they have overtuned the fuck out of them to try to get people to play them, and it hurts every other class in the process. Buff Range Hunter, I'm not sure about Melee Hunter. I know a lot of people who enjoy Melee Hunter, and I like those people, but I don't think that Melee Hunter ever needs to be at the top of the DPS chart, especially in a SOD setting when they provide so much utility as is. That's my talk. I don't think Phase 3 is that great. I think Phase 4 needs to drop soon for the health of the game, and I am begging that Phase 4 provides 20-man raids for every raid, because I don't think 40-man is going to work, and I'm begging that they do not do something stupid like put some mechanics in the raid or make the raids way too difficult. A little bit of a long video here today, guys. I got some CAD content dropping soon, but just wanted to say, hey, wanted to record this video. Take care. Hope you guys had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend and hope you guys aren't getting the Sunday scaries. Take care, guys.